Hiya folks, it's me again, Steve. I just thought I'd shoot another quick film this morning. Well, it's not this morning, it's actually this evening. It's 6:50 here. But time you see this, it'll be this morning, so I'll upload it in the morning. Darcey 6 Strings 9 Lives has started a thread that I thought I'd contribute to. And basically what he has said is you have to hold up 4 bands, 2 records in chronological order. Now, I've spent the last half an hour looking in the dictionary to find out what the word chronological means. I'm just about getting my head around that. You know, it's a great thread, and you're supposed to hold up a couple of CDs. Unfortunately, I'm sorting out my collection at the moment. I've got over 1,000, must be over 1,000 CDs in there. And I've just got rid of over 150 non-metal ones that go into the charity shop tomorrow. You can imagine how much sorting. So what I thought I'd do is, I wanted to do the thread, and basically he's asked, for 2 records of 4 bands. But I'm doing my contribution a bit different, because he gave me a sub-thread, if you like. He held up a Suicidal Tendencies CD. And what I thought I'd do is 3 bands, or, heavy metal bands, that I have been with since the beginning, or their inception. And 3 came to mind straight away. I don't mean bands that you sort of jumped on and heard a couple of albums and thought, wow, these were good, then started buying them. I'm talking about bands that probably hadn't even recorded their first album. And it was the case of me with Suicidal Tendencies. When I discovered them, they were classed as a skater band, and it was very early 80s, and probably people in the UK never heard of them. Because you see, in the early 80s I was a tape trader, and another band I discovered very early on was Metal Church, and again that was through tape trading. White Lion was probably another band I was one of the first to discover through trading as well. There were so many different bands, but you can definitely say those 3 bands I discovered through the tape trading. Another band I've been with from the very, very beginning, and it was my privilege to see him last year, was W.A.S.P. I was with W.A.S.P. before their first album. They sort of released it, and this is one of the only heavy metal albums. It was so raw, it just blew me away, and I've been a fan of them ever since. So they're the bands that spring to mind. A lot of what Scott Waters has sent me, or what he shows on his channel, I've got to thank also Blackmore Rules, Greg the Egg, because both of them have introduced me to Christian metal, and if I wasn't on the VC I would definitely not have bought it. I've only learnt about Christian metal since I've been on the VC. Bands like Striker and all sorts of bands I forgot about. You know how you get these mind blanks. But I have also discovered a lot of great music through Renee and Mr. Holsper in Spain. A great channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Metal Mickey, I've discovered a few good CDs as well, and Cloudy, and all members of the VC. Another great guy I've discovered a lot of good stuff from is Metal War God, a great channel. And any of those channels I've recommended. Corey's, Aaron, Metal Theologian. Just watch those channels and you'll discover a lot of great music. But over the UK, as I say, because when I started collecting, and this was a different generation, and it was basically when the metal scene was starting to kick off, and the only way we could afford it was through tapes and through tape trading. It was totally illegal then, because sometimes these tapes, where they got them from, they were bootlegs basically, but we should trade a lot of tape, and I did trade internationally. And them days, I mean, it's so easy to trade internationally now, providing you can afford the postage. But in them days, it was hard work. We had no internet, and it was all done by word and mouth. The only way you get your lists was through the mail, and you had to send them your list. They would send them their list. I was hoping I'd still have some of my lists here, but sadly I haven't, because I used to make loads of them, all the stuff I had, and I used to trade a lot, and that was, I mean, a lot of members will remember tape trading. But Darcey's got a great channel, great name as well, 6 Strings 9 Lives. If you haven't subscribed to him, please subscribe, but this is my response to your thread, my friend. And I'm still trying to work out what chronological means. We don't do big words on this channel. You know, I've got problems at the moment. We've got a Spice Girl reunion and stuff like that without having to worry, you know. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this little segment, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!